All right, everybody. I know that I said that I was going to do one final tip video, and I kind of lumped it all in there, sort of just the kitchen sink, all of the sort of secrets, right, in Madden. But I went back over my videos this year, and I noticed that there was one video that I did not do, and that's how to make defensive adjustments. Now, after watching my videos, if you watched, all my defensive videos, I've shown you how to make adjustments, both global and individual, in those particular videos, but I don't have a full video explaining how to make all of the major defensive adjustments that you're going to need. And it is very important to be able to make these adjustments on the fly so that you don't get quick snapped, so you don't get caught on a defender that you're not wanting to use. So I'm going to go over how to do it. I'm going to keep it simple. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to talk about defensive line adjustments. These are the most simple and the most basic adjustments that you can make. And all you have to do is press left on the D-pad. And that's it. That's all you have to do to find every single one of your defensive line adjustments, okay? Now, these are global adjustments for your entire defensive line. So when you hit the left D-pad, if you hit up on the left stick, it spreads your defensive line. If you hit left on the D-pad and down on the left stick, it pinches your defensive line. If you hit left on the D-pad and go right on the left stick, it shifts your line right. And if you hit left on the D-pad and you hit the left stick left, it shifts you left. Very simple and very basic, right? And it's the same thing with what you want your line to do. If you want them to slant outside, up on the right stick. If you want them to slant inside, down on the right stick, right? If you want them to slant to the right, right on the right stick. And if you want them to slant to the left, left on the left stick, okay? And sometimes in practice mode, this play art gets messed up, okay? And you might have to do it twice. So, and sometimes in a game, especially with 4 linemen, if I make a defensive line adjustment, say I want to pinch and I want to slant inside, okay? But I'll do it twice just to make sure that play art works. Now you can see, right, that play art works. So that's really it. That's all you have to do for your defensive line, okay? So we'll reset the play, which, by the way, to reset the play, you just press in the square button and you hit the L2 button and it resets your play, okay? Let's talk about linebackers, okay? Linebackers, it's the very same thing, okay? Except it's right on the D-pad. Right on the D-pad, and you can spread by going up on the left stick, right on the D-pad, down on the left stick, pinches your linebackers, okay? And then you can shift them right, or you can shift them left, okay? And again, in practice mode, sometimes this doesn't work very well, okay? So we're going to reset the play again here. And what we're going to look at now is what we want our linebackers to do. We can put all of our linebackers into a zone, right? And they already are in this play. If we go right on the D-pad and we go down on the right stick, we're now blitzing all of our linebackers. If we go right on the D-pad, up on the right stick, we're now zoning all of our linebackers, okay? And the same thing goes with, you can just hit right on the D-pad and you can just blitz your left outside linebacker, or you can hit right on the D-pad and blitz your right outside linebacker, okay? By just following the instructions, either right stick right or right stick left, okay? So let's reset this play again. And let's talk about now, how do we make individual player adjustments? Okay, so we come out in this defense. Let's say we pinch our line and we crash them down, right? So, we're just going for an all-out blitz here, right? We blitzed 2 linebackers, whatever. We blitzed all of our linebackers. We're crashing down, whatever, okay? Let's say we want to take our left-of-screen defensive end, which is Howie Long, and we want to put him into a hard flat. So we're going to hit left on the D-pad twice. We're going to press Howie Long's icon, which is a square, and then we're going to put him into either a seam flat, curl flat, vertical hook, or hard flat, okay? And in this case, we're just going to put him to a hard flat by going left on the left stick. And you can see he's in a hard flat, okay? We do the same thing with say Max Crosby, we can put him into a hard flat by doing the same thing. Twice on the D-pad, press the player's icon, and then put them into any kind of zone you want. Okay? So we're going to reset the play again. And then we're going to do this again, left on the D-pad twice. And we're going to take, say, Warren Sapp, and we're going to put him on the right side for adjustments. We're going to put him into a quarterback spy. Okay? So you can see that little circle is around him. He's now in a quarterback spy. If we want, we can put him into a left on the D-pad twice, triangle. We're going to put him into a bluff blitz, which is right on the right stick. And that bluff blitz will help, say, cover. It's basically a rec hook, right? It'll help cover a back coming out of the backfield, or it'll sit back there sort of in the middle as a zone, right? So it's basically a rec, so he's recognizing. Okay, and he's going to recognize that halfback probably first. Okay, if we do it again, we can put say, let's go ahead and put Howie Long. Let's man him up. So that's going to be up on the right stick, and we're going to man him up to triangle. Okay, so Bo Jackson. We'll man him up on the tight end. And in real life, we wouldn't do that. We would probably do it with Max Crosby. So twice left on the D-pad, twice. Circle for Max Crosby, up on the right stick for man coverage, and circle for Bo Jackson. And now our defensive end is manned up on Bo Jackson. And you can do this with anybody. If we want to do it with our linebackers, twice right on the D-pad. Okay? We're going to click Bo Jackson, which is square, up on the right stick. We're going to click triangle, and now Bo Jackson is manned up to Calvin Johnson right there in the slot. Okay? So that's basically individual adjustments. You do not ever have to leave your user. And this is something that even veteran Madden players will do quite often. For a long time, we had to basically keep pressing the circle button to get to the guy that we wanted, and then we'd have to say we want to get it on our middle linebacker here, or Ted Hendricks. Then we'd have to press X. Then we'd put him in man coverage. We'd man him up, and then we'd have to X all the way through to get back to our user. And if we screwed up once, or they snapped the ball, we couldn't get to our user, right? Madden, a few years ago, made this a lot easier, and you can make all of your adjustments without leaving your user, okay? That's why you see people making adjustments so quickly, okay? So that's it for the line and the linebackers. All right, fellas, we're going to switch to dollar here, and we're just going to come out in the DB Fire 2. It's going to be a lot easier to talk about coverage adjustments out of this formation. So coverage adjustments are very simple. They're a little bit more complicated than what we've been going through here. So we're going to press triangle, and that gives us the ability to do global adjustments with our defense. We're going to start with the right stick. In this case, we're going to click the right stick up. So it's triangle, right stick up. And what that does is that puts those hard flats, or soft squats in this case, into cloud flats. Okay? Now we press triangle again, and we hit the right stick down, and that gives us hard flats. Okay? Very simple. Right stick up, you're gonna be basically doing coverage over the top, right? Right stick down, you're gonna be shading underneath. And what that does, it not only creates the hard flats, but it makes all of the other zones play more aggressively underneath, okay? And when you flip it up, it makes the zones play more toward avoiding getting beaten deep, right? So very simple. So if we switch to a man formation here, okay? So we're gonna press, we're gonna get our defense set up, however we want. So let's say that we think on the left side they're going to do a pull route and a corner route, and on the right side we feel like they're going to do a flood concept, okay? So we press triangle, and we take the right stick and we go to the right. That is going to shade outside. So if those routes go toward the outside, it's going to cover them better, right? Let's say that we think that they're going to do crossers and drags. So we're going to hit triangle, and we're going to go left on the right stick. Now we're going to be shading on the inside. So if any of these guys, like say, come over on a cross and move over here, they're going to be shading toward the inside to cover that better. Okay? So those are the basic setups for global, right? We can also do things like give cushion, which is triangle up on the left stick, right? And that puts your defensive backs back. So let's say it's like 3rd and 25 or 3rd and 30, okay? We're not worried about short routes, so we give cushion. Now let's say that it is 3rd and 5. Maybe we want to press triangle and go down on the left stick, which is basically pressing, right? We've now moved all of our defensive backs up toward the line and our cornerbacks on the line, right? If we press, we're going to reset the play now. Okay, we're back in DB Fire here. If we press triangle and we go left on the left stick, what that does is that basically bluff blitzes. We're showing blitz. And that generally, in most formations, will bring the safeties down closer. In some formations, it'll bring them down all the way into this area. Okay, so I learned this back in Madden 18. I would run cover 4 a lot. And if you bluff blitz, right, we've reset the play here. If we go ahead and bluff blitz, right, triangle, left stick left, it brings our defensive backs and our general defense on the whole more toward the line. And it'll help us play the run better, okay? Conversely, we're going to reset the play here. If we press triangle, and so a lot of the times we'll man align, right? So we're going to press R1 to man align, okay? So R1 man aligns, right? Let's say we want to base align. We want to disguise what we're doing. We press triangle right on the left stick, and that puts us in base align. You can do that through your coaching settings, but if you don't do it through there, the first thing you want to do is triangle and right on the left stick. Okay, so we're going to talk really quickly about individual adjustments. Okay, so we're going to press triangle and then we're going to press X. And let's say we want to back off our outside cornerback on the right. So we're going to press the outside most receiver, because that's going to be the receiver closest to that defensive back. We're going to press circle. We're going to go up on the right stick, and that backs up our outside cornerback. Okay, let's say we want to back up our inside defensive back. So we're going to go triangle, X for individual. We're going to press X, and we're going to back him off by going up on the right stick, right? That's how you back players off. Conversely, we can say, let's go with Chad Johnson here. We can go ahead and individually shade him with the right stick. We think that Chad Johnson's going to come across on a drag, okay? So we're going to go right on the right stick. And now we're going to be shading. Let's man him up there, right? So now we're going to be shading toward the inside when he guards him. Or we can go triangle, X, triangle, left on the right stick. And we're going to be shading toward the outside now, okay? Those are individual adjustments that you can make, right? In terms of coverage adjustments, right? This is where things get really fun, okay? So in order to do coverage adjustments, individual coverage adjustments, instead of doing this and going through each player, all we have to do is go triangle, triangle, and then we can individually adjust any of our defensive backs. And in DB Fire, or excuse me, in Dollar, we have 5. So let's say that we want to do a Mabel on the right side. Let me go ahead and reset the play here. Okay, we want to do a Mabel on the right side. So we're going to go triangle, triangle, X, and now we can put him, if we go up on the left stick, we put him in a seam flat. If we go left on the left stick, we put him in a hard flat. If we go down on the left stick, we put him in a vert hook. And if we go right on the left stick, we put him in a curl flat, which is what we just did. Now we have a Mabel on that side, okay? So triangle, 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 and we're going to put him into a curl flat also. So now we have a curl flat on the left, excuse me, a Mabel on the left side, right? And then we're going to go twice on the right D-pad, twice right on the D-pad. We're going to press X, and we're going to go up on the left stick, and now we have a middle third. So we have Mabel with a cover 3 shell, right? And this is the important thing about these defensive adjustments is, you can go stock defenses, and they'll play okay for the most part, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and bring this guy back down where he belongs. But it's so important to be able to make individual coverage adjustments on the fly. So for instance, we want to do a Mabel on the right side, a cover 3 shell, and then we want to, on the left side, we want to do a cover 2 man. So how would we do that? So we're going to pinch our line, we're going to pass commit. We've already got that set up now. So now all we have to go is triangle, triangle, X, right on the left stick, and we have a Mabel on that side. We're going to go right D-pad twice, X, up on the left stick, and now we have a cover 3 shell because we have him in the middle third. And then we're going to man up these 2 outside defensive backs. Okay, we're going to go triangle, 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 up on the right stick, triangle. And then we're going to go triangle, triangle, square, up on the right stick, square. And so now we have a cover 2 shell on the left side, we have a cover 3 shell overall, and we have a Mabel on the right side. Okay, and it's also really interesting things that we can do with this, and you see how quickly it's done. What if we want to go ahead and cross man those guys on the left? Okay, I call it sort of a shortened cross manning, because a lot of times you'll cross man safeties, like this safety will be cross manned over here, and this safety will be cross manned over here, right? And that can really confuse the offense, because by the time the routes develop, all of a sudden, boom, we've got a manned up guy who's right on his tail. And so they have to go to a different read. So if we want to cross man, we're going to go triangle, triangle, triangle. We're going to go up on the right stick, and we're going to press square. We're going to go triangle, triangle, square, up on the right stick, triangle. Now we've cross manned. We still have a cover 2 man shell on the left side, but we've cross manned. And a strategy like that can do something like, let's say that we think that they're going to have this guy on a streak, and then they're going to put this guy on a crosser, right? Now, they think that that's going to be a sure bet, but because he's cross-manned, this guy right here is going to be in position for an interception. And that type of a defensive adjustment can really, really wreak havoc on an opponent. Something very simple like that. So that's why it's important to be able to adjust on the fly, right? And to be able to do it quickly. This is a little bit longer explanation, but this is the most important part of defensive adjustments, is making individual coverage adjustments. It's where you go from good player, decent player, to advanced player, and to pro level player, right? It are these individual adjustments. So let's say we want to do something like this. Right on the D-pad, we're going to select Madden, which is X, and we're going to put him into a curl flat, which is going to be right on the left stick. So we have a Mabel coverage out there, and let's go triangle, triangle, X, and let's put him into, let's put him in a vertical hook, right? So we've got 3 receivers over on the right side, and now we've got a vert hook. One of the common routes, right, out of this formation, the bunch type style formations, are streaks over here or corner routes. But whatever it is, maybe it's a flat, it's a clear out, so that this running back over here can come up on a streak and be open. And now we've got a vert hook waiting for that. So you get beat on that play once, you can anticipate the coverage or the call, and you can adjust your coverage accordingly, and they have no idea you're doing it. If you'll notice, our defense hasn't even budged, right? Oftentimes, when I reset the play, DB Fire has a very slight tell, okay? So that's why I always come out and I always pinch in dollar. As soon as the play comes out, I pinch. They are going to have to be unbelievably keen to see the tell of the play that I've called, right? And even if so, I generally change my coverages up so they're not going to really know what's going on. These blitzers, right? These blitzers. One of the nice things about this, let's say we put Madden here in a cover three. This guy here, Adams and Cromartie, they're generally blitzing out of DB fire, right? But if we go triangle, 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 down on the left stick, now he's in a hook curl. Triangle, triangle, X down on the left stick, he's in a hook curl. We've now just created a sort of cover two shell with a cover three shell over top, right? And we're free to roam with this guy. So we went from a heavy blitzing play to a full coverage play where we're blitzing three players. And in this situation, I would just press X down on the right stick to blitz so that the computer would read that I'm rushing four players, right? So now we've created a very interesting cover shell, right? You can do all of this with adjustments. So my suggestion is to come in here and practice. The first thing that I would do is just practice, for me, practice going from a cover two to a cover three shell. And in this case, it's going to be one of these middle linebackers. So we're going to go right on the D-pad twice, X, up on the left stick, cover three shell. Reset the play, do it again, cover three shell. Reset the play, do it again, cover three shell. My muscle memory after just 3 times of doing this, I now know how to do this. This is how I taught myself, okay? It's going to be the same thing with creating a Mabel, right? I knew that this was going to be my defensive formation and my go-to play. So I started off resetting the play. I would always pinch and pass commit right away to develop that muscle memory. And then I would go triangle, triangle, X right on the left stick to create a Mabel. Triangle, triangle, triangle right on the left stick to create a double Mabel. And I would just keep doing that repeatedly, right? Pinch, Mabel set up, right? Reset the play, Mabel set up. You see how quickly you can do that? It's amazing. Now we're going to combine those, okay? So we reset the play. We're going to pinch, pass commit, set up a cover three, and set up a double Mabel. Look at how quickly that can be done. That in literally a second. And I'm going a little bit slower to show you guys, right? So that's why defensive adjustments are so important, you guys. Being able to adjust your line, especially this year, because line placement really matters. Like in the 4-3-6-1, pinching your line, crashing down. You can do that so quickly, right? Spreading linebackers, right? Pinching linebackers, shading your coverage down, shading your coverage up, right? And then being able to make these individual adjustments, right? We're wanting to back off our cornerback. Boom. So easy. You can do all of these things. Again, 2 seconds is really all you need to do to make all of your adjustments. You saw how quickly we were able to double Mabel, right? It's literally less than a second. So practice your muscle memory. My suggestion is your global adjustments first, right? That's going to be R1 for basically your whole defense, right? And so we just pinched our entire defense and we pass committed, right? And then we're going to work on our individual adjustments, right? Let's say we want to take one of these defensive linemen, twice left on the D-pad, Bruce Irvin, who's square, and right on the left stick, and now Bruce Irvin is in a curl flat, right? Just practice these things. Practice the order, right? I like to do the general defensive adjustments right away. Pinch and either pass commit or run commit or whatever I feel like doing, right? I like to get those out of the way first. That's just a personal preference, okay? That's while they're coming out in their formation, I get to see what they're doing, and generally speaking, I will have the same, general defensive adjustments anyway, right? And then I'll work on the coverage adjustments. Okay. At that point in time, if I have a quick audibler, right, then I know I can just reset the play, do this again, and I've got a double Mabel set up like instantly. So even before they get their hot routes made and their audible, their change of formation gets set, I've already set up my double Mabel. I don't have to do anything else other than maybe, set up a cover 3-2, right? You can do these things so quickly if you just practice it. So my suggestion is come out in your favorite defensive formation and work on every adjustment that you would like to do. Start with the line first, or excuse me, the global adjustments, whether it's shading down, shading up, pinching your line, spreading your line, whatever it is that you want to do, right? And then start with the individual adjustments, right? Find your order first, okay? And again, I'll tell you my order, right? My order is going to be to pinch, pass commit, or run commit if I decide to do that, and then whatever I want to do with X as my middle linebacker, either man him up on X or circle, or put him in my favorite one is cover 3. Obviously, you guys know this, right? So just practice those things. Go in order, get quick with them so you can do them without even thinking, okay? You guys, I hope this video has been helpful for you. I do love doing these tip videos. I just don't know that we have that many more. I don't know that we have any more tip videos to do. I think we've covered everything we need to cover. All of the tip videos, if you use those, I promise you, you will play better and you will win more games. This should have been one of the first videos that I did, and I apologize for not doing it. So anyway, I hope you guys have a wonderful day.